Hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we will wait for around 3 minutes. Okay, our course will get started within 3 minutes. So, you can check about the signals to see if you can see the screens, see my laptop screen smoothly, and also, the voice is clear or enough or not. Yeah, we will get started within around 3 minutes. Okay, so now let's directly get started. So hello everyone, this is Jackie again, and today actually we are going to have the course, uh, basically positioning at the advanced using or some of the general skills that will help you to use the Coohom design tool. Okay, for this course, actually, we assume that all our attendees are having some of the very basic skills about the using of the tool. But actually, if you have some, uh, for example, issues or you have any problem regarding some operations, you can also leave with the comments or during our course, you can just leave the message via the chatting rooms. So we suggest that you can also give us some of the feedback. And also today, I will give you some of the basic and the logic, the helpful logic that might help you to create some more detail or uh, elegance designs basically on regarding our general design tool we're using. And also before that, we would like you to know that our tool now for this course is mainly targeting at the 5.0 version. Okay, so just don't forget to check about your using of the version of the tool. Okay, and actually for today here, these are our basic, okay, our basic target. First, here we have something related to the decor, including the finishings, for example, doors and windows, ceiling, floor, wall editors. Okay, but they are very basic for the preview using. Today I will show you some of them. Okay, some of the advanced using or very special logic. That logic might bring you some different thinkings or different dimension analyzings to help us to create those component or those constructions that you might feel that Coohom can't do it, but actually we can do that. So today I will show you, okay, not all of the content from this slide, from the PowerPoint, no, but at least we have some very general use of the material of the logic and the materials, so we can do it. And the second thing is something related to the kitchen and bath. I can show you some of the modification or some of the very detailed, very precise using regarding, for example, like the countertop, manually to do the adjustment for the shapes or for the functions, for the connect surface. So here, they are some more detailed things, actually. Okay, of course, regarding for the public library, actually we won't show all of the things from like enterprise because I know you have something for your using. Maybe it's from the your created models, but today I will show you basically with the same logic. So with the deckers. And the final thing is something related to the render. I know some of you already raised a question regarding, for example, the lights and also the controllings of the outcomes. So here I will show you some principles. Okay, I will show you some of the principles to have a vivid picture or the vivid render outcome. So this will lies in the last part for the render. Okay, so here first we will talk about something related to the ceiling. For ceiling, I believe you already know some of the basic usings, right? Drawing some sections, edges, and then settle with the extrusions, and then you use the lines and the light strips. But also today I will show you some more thing to use the light strip to decor the ceiling and even decor the entire rooms. And also we have some corner line editings. But also I would tell you some of the using is really helpful, even sometimes you may just ignore that, but still we have the function. I really suggest you to try. And also we can have like the chamfer using that would be the very important part to bring some of the decor style. So here, duplicate lines and then click to chamfer. Finally, spotlight, array, that would be something easy, right? I will show you. And if you really want to see some of the scenarios, you can also leave messages to us, okay? So flat ceiling for your side, I believe it's really easy, right? For some of the deckers, you just need to just draw that. I won't show it here because these are the basic, okay? They will be some of this content to help you remember something, maybe from your previous learning or some of the courses that you have taken. Yeah, you can just try to analyze. Sometimes we don't need to do all the things by the exercising. If you can practice in mind, that would be some feelings like you already install such kind of design tool called Coohom in your mind, and then you can try some analyzing to set, for example, is it possible for you to do that? For example, something like this that would be really really simple, the easy way to do. But here, I would like you to know, for example, some of the effect analyzing for this. So you can see here, actually, for the first thing, the light strip, I believe you try some of the functions, right? Let me show you with the basic. Yeah, they will be the very basic, already prepared. This is the already prepared house, okay? We can click the ceiling for the basic using here, drawing, rectangle, right? And then basic shapes. Basic shapes. Yeah, I believe you all know that. Okay, this is the curtain box. You can just leave like that and then draw out the main body, the main shapes, and also give a proper edges. Click, yeah, to type in. Just click and type in the exact number. It's fine. And also set the extrusion. That will be the first step, right? 300. And here, the key thing, it comes with the step 2. Click the line. When you click the lamp bell, okay, intent or external. Most of the time, our suggestion for the false ceiling, also called the suspended ceiling, you can use the intent because the boundary is fixed, right? We already taught something regarding this. And then you can have the light through and light strip. Remember to change the color. Yeah, brightness you can remain the same. It's just easy. And then you can see here that will be some of the uh, difference in the step 2. Here we settle with the light strip. The default setting of this light strip, click the section edit. And you will find here we got this light through and also this, okay, this area. I would like to show you with the proper section viewing. Yeah, that will be some way we can do for the from the very beginning of the courses, because you need to understand what exactly the section means. So hope you can see that once you have the proper dimensions. See here, yeah, going up a bit. Okay, almost. So you can see here, this is the light through, this is the light strip. Yeah, showing like this. But the position will cause quite difference. You see, first, our best solution is not default. For the default setting, something like this one, you can see it will just directly cause the really distinctive boundaries from the really overexposure suddenly to the dark side. You see, which is not so good. Actually, it's not so good for the effect. And if you want to make it suitable, you can just change here the light through up a little bit. While you're moving here, the position, you can see actually it's really changing the position. Yeah. So that's why actually when you put it here, you will have some results causing, like, for example, really smooth reduction of the light strength. You see, when you put like this, right? If you put as the default even lower, that's why when you see something like this one, the lights coming out suddenly disappeared in here. So that's why the really distinct boundaries will show around this. Okay, so my suggestion, up a little bit, and even you can make it backwards. You can also do like this one, and you can see this will be the proper selections. Yeah, and neither upper or lower will not cause a proper result. You see here, this one, default setting. This one, you still can move up a little bit, but still under the light through, the edge of the light through. And this one is not also not so good. Just put at the top of the position. You see, when I move this one to the here, and you will certainly you can see that result causing like this, right? You have the very normal reductions of the lights, but suddenly here it comes with the shadow. This is the cover of the light through. So that's why this area will cause the shadows, which is of course not so good. So that would be something, okay? The light strip position will bring a different effect. So just make sure you know this. And also, once you finish that, for example, once you finish the changings, you can click duplicate to all the boundary. Just click that, right? And sometimes you will see certainly we have some reversed, okay, the reverse suspense ceiling. Okay, this time you can just use this position. It will also cause a proper result. For example, here, repeat or undo. Okay, this time let me just duplicate this one and using this offset. Of course, you can use offset to draw another boundary. For example, here I can give a 200 and then settle with the extrusion, for example, 200. Okay, and then give the light strip as well. But this is inside this inner area. And you can see here, this is the shape. We had the very top area with the extrusion 0, or if you want, give 50. Yeah, don't need you don't need to give a really precise or a really big gap between different levels. Yeah, make it suitable, something like that. And then you can directly click the boundary still here to get the intent, okay, the intent label, and check about that position. This time you can just use some similar position looking like this one. Put it here. Yeah, just make it smooth. And also this time, don't forget to check here the color. And if you want to make it really precise, you can bring a little bit higher of the brightness and then duplicate. At this moment, actually, you can bring up a proper light coming like this. Yeah, this is some reverse suspended ceiling internally. Yeah, so I believe this will do help with some of the changings on your ceiling decors. Okay. And also for the ceiling, you see, actually, we do have something like that. This is some dual arc. Okay, you can see the section is within the arch, but also the corner with the chamfer. Okay, and also we have some decors on the bottom side. This will be the the metal line to cover the boundary. So if you want, you can also do like this one. I delete this, click, delete. For example, click, and here we have the intent bell. Check, session edit. This time, chamfer, you want out, corner molding. You see? So just searching for some of the session, okay, the session surface to put here directly. And also don't forget you can have the add corner line. This time you can searching for metal, or for example, you can directly select the decorate. For example, this one. Yeah, this is the decorate line. Okay, click and put. See? It's not only for putting in the position here, but you can also changing the horizontal offset. For example, move as my moving angle, you can see it changes. Just pay attention to positive and negative. It means different dimensions. Okay, so let's say 120. Okay, and then click done. Of course, if you want, you can also check about the color. For example, to bronze, to metal. You can just search for that. Metal. Yeah, you have so many different options. So just select. Okay, click. And once you finish this line, click to duplicate. Okay, don't forget this duplicate. By the way, still we can click here, chamfer for the outer fillet. At this moment, radius don't need to get too big. Let's say 250. Finish. So you can see now we have a proper chamfer, the proper chamfer angle. That will be the way to do with some more design style, right? Okay, and also just don't forget here we do have some more solutions for uh, the light strip or the light belt. You can see here. There will be some of the really popular design style to decor for the embed light strip. This is on the section surface. Yeah, just pay attention about it. In order to create this kind of views or the constructions, it's actually not hard. Yeah, you see, actually, this for the section surface is really there's no light through. Definitely no light through. So my suggestion, if you want, I clear them all. Just show you a quick way to create that. Okay, here extrusion 100. So if you want to create, click here section plan. We can directly click the external, but without light through. It's only light strip, and then click session. For example, here 200, and then now you can directly click the light strip itself, changing the dimension for changing the position. For example, here give 130. See, now it's changing. And also this position, of course, if you want just directly using this is fine, but it's not kind of viewing like the embed. Actually, it's not embed, it's on the surface, right? If you want to embed, for example, you can move a little bit here. My experience is around this -6 to 8, something like that. Yeah, they will be different due to the radius of the light strip. So you can see normally around the -6, it's fine. Yeah, it will be just looking like an embed viewing. So still click to duplicate. And then you can check about the result. Actually, you see, it's just at the surface, just right at the surface of that position. Yeah, and it's good for the viewing. So there will be some of the viewing like this. So you can try. You can go and try. It is a good way. But also, there will be another viewings I can show you here. It's a kind of function. Let me show you. Yeah. Sometimes, for example, here, this one delete. Yeah. We have some of the decor angles to show if you want if you want to do the decor on the surface to continue having that wall editor. Sometimes this is pure flat, but sometimes it does contain with the light strip, but it's on the surface of walls. So how can we do that? Actually, here I show you some very special way. As you know, actually for our logic, this logic is still available for the wall design as well. So this time I can show you with the wall editor. As you can see here, we got the rectangle. First to draw, let's say here we can have 450. Yeah. And then you can click. You see here now extrusion. This time I am not having any light strip or light belt on the ceiling. Okay, it's on the surface of the walls. So here extrusion very small. Let's say 30, and then you can click this line. We settle as the intent. Okay, of course with the light through, but this time session edit. Don't forget to put go up a little bit, okay? In order to let more light allow more lights to coming out. So don't put it too deep, okay? When you see this, you have to think, okay, in the 19-degree reverse, okay, to change to see like this, okay, the different angles. So put it out a bit, click done, and then changing to other surface. Yeah, as you know, actually we do have the similar logic from different from ceiling to the walls. But now you see, if you turn here, yeah, you can click the this edit to quickly jump. But if you want to get quick finish, for example, the different surface, this time you can directly click. Okay, turn back to the first, and then here's the really good way with the good function for you. Click my account. Here we got the my styling and save as a background wall. Okay, we save all this, okay, all these walls, and then to, for example, all room type, whatever you want. Sometimes this is some of the decor is not only belongs to the bedroom, but also of course you can use it in the living room and any other areas. So room type or template, maybe whatever you want, just type in. Normally I just suggest to give a proper name. Let's say light strip on walls, okay? But here, to give a proper name, 30 millimeter extrusion. So I will mark out because I want to know what exactly the position is or how is the thickness to get the extrusion. So 30 millimeter. After here, it finished the saving, I can directly jump to some other area. And now this time, I don't need to use some rectangle to draw anything again and again. That's exhausting, right? It's some duplicate working. But I just need to click here directly to draw, to drag, okay? To drag to fully cover this. And then here as well, do it again. Of course, you can get auto match. Yeah, it will be easier. This surface as well, auto, done. Okay, but some of you already found out that it will contain some of the boundaries. See, now it's disconnected, right? Which is looking not so good. So at this moment, we have this kind of a latest release function. It's called connection to different surface in the material and component in this one. Okay, we just need to borrow some of the advanced function from this kind of tool. After you have all this, you can click the closed corner, this one. Yeah. And once you click, all the system will automatically join them together. Hope you can see that. Now it's joined together with 45 degrees. See the cuttings? Yeah. And then, of course, you can turn to the pre-render. Here in our tool, we got preview. Yeah, a quick preview picture. Yeah, you don't need to go to the renders. Now you have it. And also during this, you can continue with some of the modification of the patterns of those elements. So this, I believe, it will help to you. This one, yeah, the closed corner is especially suitable for all the 90-degree sharp corner to continue. See, it's all joined together. Okay, this will be the proper, but it is with very low uh, resolution. So if you go to render, you can have the proper result. I hope this will work for your site because some of you already raised about some detailed questions. So this time I just show you something. Okay, and continually you can see actually for those they are very basic. Still you can draw. You can draw out. Yeah, you can directly draw out something, or you can combine them. For example, these kind of decors, you can directly go here. I can show you. I can directly turn back. For example, for wall editor, okay. You see in the wall editor, actually we have the boundary, default setting of the boundary, so you don't need to worry about the marking out. Here it's automatically helped. And what you need to do, for example, to create, okay, this time I just draw some of the kind of a shape for you to in order to know. For example, here, settle the different extrusion. Actually, the same logic. See, same logic. Draw edges, set the extrusion. For example, this time get 250. Yeah, you don't need that much big one. And then also, for example, this area, if you want to make it really quick and you're really busy using, you can directly use, for example, for the backbone or the wall panel. Sometimes I suggest we can use the models. Yeah, for the model decors. For example, like this, the wall decors, you can directly put, okay, and then to drag, and here array using that linear array. Yeah, click point to point, or just use the rectangle is fine. See, you can add up, for example, 8 to check if it is suitable. Yeah. Once you click, it's finished. But of course, you see here, actually, we do have some of the extrusions of the boundary, and also the level is automatically touching to the top surface, the upper area. So which is not so good. You can also turn back to do some modification. See here, turn back into 2D and check about the position. 0. Of course, if there are some gaps here, you can continue to change. For example, you can just change back a little bit, right? To go with more, for example, 400. um, Here, holding down the control button, you can directly put in the correct position, right? This is something we can do. But if you really want to draw manually to draw out, we can turn back to the wall editor. And here, I can show you, for example, with the rectangle, manually, this time we will manually draw that. For example, 50. Okay. And here, this will be one phrase. And the second time, duplicate, duplicate. We put the second phrase here. Okay. Now we get 2. And the second phrase, extrusion, 100. Oh, sorry. This time still have one of the boundary missing. Yes. To put it down, put it down. Okay. So second, the thickness for the extrusion, 100. Then don't forget to click with the pattern. For example, material wood. Yeah, you'd better use some of these kind of a continue join together and just avoid the flooring selections. And then click to put. Yeah, click to put. And also don't forget to save at your favorite, because you see here, this time for the elevation, still we can use in our favorite. Click, and also you can rotate. And then click, duplicate. Same here, click, duplicate. Okay, and this is only one finished single surface. And then you can holding down Shift button, do the multi-selection, and then just using the regular or linear array. This will be fixed spacing or fixed quantity, and then you can click, for example, to 100, and click continually. And now you can see moving all alongside till the border, right? And if all this fixed, so if it is all available, you can see actually we fully cover them. We manually to draw, fully cover, and auto cut it. Yeah. But for those area internally, this area, if you have this kind of a decker, you'd better just avoid them. Okay. So you can first finish one of the area, and then continually you can draw the difference to draw. Yeah. Or the better way, you can first finish this one. Yeah. 100. As you move along, so everything duplicate. And also for a drawing, going again, here you can just select as 0 or with some more here to select. Yeah, you can do the multi-selection, delete. Yeah. Here, if you don't want to see so many different data, you can just hide them away. Now it's pure for the side. Okay, now I can just delete. And then, of course, settle with the extrusion. This time, that will be 250. Now you can have that. Okay, set the extrusion. And also, don't forget to change to different material. So you can see we have the material, model, oh, sorry, material, paintings for the floor pans, wallpapers, stones. Yes, stone we got the marble. And here, just click and put. Let me select one. Yeah, or pattern as well. You can turn to the uh, pattern. So for example, click and put. Scale. Yeah, it will be better, right? And that's not the end. For example, if you want to have a proper light, for example, you can just let me show you here. For some of the scenarios, okay, set the extrusion. You can click here. Don't directly put any lights. Don't directly put any light strip, because the boundary, you don't want the clients to see the very distinct boundaries leaking the lights coming out. So you can just break them, split. Here, click the dot. Okay, show the lens. Click here, just give 10. Same here, split, click 10. And here, once you click, with the intent light belt. Click duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. And see, now actually we automatically have a sealed up edge. Okay, this is automatically sealed up, which is actually the truth, right? And then what you need to do is just click the scale. Horizontal offset or vertical offset, up to your choice. And also don't forget to check about this section. Same here, favorite. Okay, if you don't have that, it's fine because this is some pattern which it cannot be directly saved, but you can still turn back to the material and component. In this kind of a tool, actually, we can just use some of the advanced tool to help. For example, here, okay, double click on the surface, connect faces, click confirm. Now it's combined together. See. So you can also use this kind of a tool. And actually, this kind of a tool is something related to the function from floor editing. For example, double click, connect faces, confirm. See, connect faces. Yeah, you can borrow from this function. So we can have a joined together area. Okay, so this is something regarding the deckers on within our tool. Now we can move forward. So actually, some of the questions from the tiles, especially from the tiles industry, yeah, we do have this kind of material editing. So as you can see, these are with the material or with the boundary drawing and then doing the extrusions, right? But if you turn to, for example, the area settings, we have this edit paving. Okay, for the paving methods, it can be manually to put with the different element, different areas. So let me show you with the function or editor. Just pay attention about the difference because, for example, for the wall editor, so you can have the area drawing, you can have the extrusion, but you can't just directly change each. For example, you want to do any patterns for each uh, tiles, each materials, but here in wall editor you can only put as the entire area. For example, tiles, you see, once I put it there, it's fully covered, right? This is the result of fully covered. But if you want to manually, let me clear this one. If you want to manually to put each tile, so you can you need to go to the edit paving, and in that paving still we do have, for example, for tiles, okay, this one, but this time you can either use tile paving as the entire material or free paving, which means it's kind of independent, okay, independent modification. And even this moment, you can also do some cuttings. For example, cutting, chamfer, slot. You can also do that, okay? And even the irregular shape. For example, here, when you turn the cuttings from rectangle to other shapes, see? I can directly turn it to my preference, for example, 350. Okay, also select different area, confirm, changing. And also, after you finish one, you can duplicate. Okay, but before that, I suggest we give the gap and then do the duplication. See, it's all auto selected, auto attached. And of course, make it with some different and changing the dimension. Yeah, make that difference with the pattern areas. So you can see. And also holding down shift button, do some multi selections and then get a quick result. See, And even at the boundary, don't worry, the system will automatically to help you to cut. So some of the combination will be easy. You know that? Okay. And even this time, just pay attention. If you duplicate something to cover the irregular position, it will also gone. It's also disappeared. Yeah, of course, for the uh, back background here, if you turn back, for example, to some normal pavings, it can be covered. See, yeah, that will be some quick way for us to get a quick result. Is it okay for this part? Is it okay? Yeah, and also you can continue to the paving or just using some of the, you see here. Let me still turn back to material component. This will be a kind of an important um, the important function for the advanced using. Yeah, you see? Now I can continue. Double click. Connect faces. Continue drawing. Confirm. At this moment, once you click that, we still have the edit paving. For wall, is only one of these surface, the flat surface. But for edit paving, once you have all the connected, you can do the editing as an independent or a joined together faces. See here. Yeah, you can of course continue to build out all the entire area, and then we can have a very suitable continual sections. Okay, so these are the ways. Okay, these are the ways to have the proper result with the pavings like this one. Yeah, this will be some joined together. For example, polygon, different shapes, rectangles, and then combine together, and then you can have that. Yeah. Once you have some basic unit, then you can duplicate. It will be really fast. And something like this one will be some of the area, for example, for the floor editor. You can go with the slottings, or you can draw them out first. For example, for the floor, some of the settings, click, sorry, here, yeah, click to draw. Of course, you can first use the straight line, finish that drawing to cutting the different areas, and then using the offset. Well, it's really quick. Right? You can just click, then you can use the tiles for example, add the paving. At this moment, it's only focused on this surface. Okay, and then I can turn to steel tiles. Of course, clear them better, and then tiles or stones. It's up to your choice to click and then put. For example, to have a bigger, yeah. This is searching for the size. Yeah, I am now searching for the size. For example, this will be the size. Click, free paving. Yeah, changing. Of course, even at this moment, I can continue to give a bigger area changing, but this is only available if you can put, yeah, you can put in at least half of it to put like that, or you can just make it at the center and then drag to pave, right? This one, drag down. See, now actually we have three pieces, but now in the main area here, and then you can click. For example, still we have for the cutting. See, rectangle, okay, and then to do the slotting. For example, here vertical, horizontal. Let me see, 5 is enough. Yes, horizontal, then 12, and it's finished, just like this one. And even at this moment, you can see I can also click the line to delete. I'm sorry, this one. This one, for example, to click the line, delete. See, with some uh, specific cuttings. Yeah, diagonal right. You can also change that with even the colors. You can also change. And then finally, you can have the proper cuttings. Okay, if you want the joint together, this will be also available. Yeah, but of course, the best way is to select a big enough area to fully cover that. Okay, and also don't forget the boundary here. Okay, and then you can just click to get the extrusion, for example, 50. And then once you have the extrusion, the gap, the height gap, then you can have the added elevation and then to put those materials, or the easiest way, just show you still material and component. Normally, we suggest we connect faces. It will be quite easy for the face connections. Connect, connect this one here as well. Connect, connect. Yeah, double click. See, that side is the same. Okay, after that, you can have all the result. Okay, there's something related to the waistline. Actually, the key function is just to click, for example, click still here in the edit paving. Yeah, you don't need to manually to give some more elements. You just need to click and then here click the role modeling. Yeah, to click and set with the different areas, even for the paving changing. See, now we can have so many different combinations, the pavings, and then to have the result to change. And also, it will be a kind of a way, for example, to set with the height above the floor, change, and everything is joined together. It will be easy. So, same, changing those materials, changing the position. And also in the edit paving, we do have a kind of a tool called the gap snapping. And here, smart. Once you click anything, all these elements will combine, try to join together. Yeah, but of course, why here is not changing is due to the size. Yeah, because for example, here 200, here 300, here 800, right? If you have any boundary, if you have any unit length regarding the, for example, 200, 400, 800, that times with the different lengths, you can still have this gap snapping. Even for example here, if I turn to 400, if the gap still the sorry, it's now changing with the wrong data. Just turn it here, for example, this one 300. If I can turn to the 400, yes, this one with two, with the exact same. This one gap two. Okay, as now you see, actually for the gappings, it's not at the correct position. Once I click using the smart, everything will be in the line. Yeah, see? This one I turn a bit harder. It was looking great. for the lines. So there will be some using for the multi-phase connections. Okay. After finish that, you can just join the other with other walls and then do the duplicate phase connections. And also some of the areas like the niche, you can continue. For example, showing with the bathrooms here. Okay, if you want, turn into 2D. At this moment, we already have run the floor plan and have the niche. Just click and put, and then click. You can change with the different numbers, with different height, right? And then settled. Just let them update. See, we already have this auto checked area. And of course, continually with the material component, you can still turn it back to join the area together. See, connect faces, connect faces, confirm. Yeah, it's joined together, but with the certain surface, it's not. So that will be some of the area you need to prepare. Sometimes, for example, to manually to have a certain area joining, changing, or just disconnect. For example, sometimes you can also disconnect this and then manually, for example, to give a independent decor. For example, tiles, manually to put, still fine. Yeah, you can also break or unbreak. It's up to your choice. So but this time the niche you don't need to draw them. It's almost automatically settled. Okay, and here it's just about two niches to join together, one and the second. Yeah, you can also use two niches to join it together to put next to it, and then you can have it. Okay, so so far with some of the decors changing in the rooms, and let's move continually with some curve ceilings. Yeah, actually you can borrow from walls. The logic is easy. You just need to remember one thing: borrowing. Yeah, you can borrow from one side of the session, right? Borrow the wall to draw the session. Let me show you here. It's not hard to understand here. For example, I use this room. Click the wall editor. This is the area. And if you want, you can use the curve line directly to draw. Even draw it from here is also available. But I just need to use this kind of thing. For example, first mark out. Sometimes we need to mark out for the beams. Yeah. Sometimes you do have some beams for the constructions, for the areas. And then this is another. This is for the ceiling. And in here, you can directly use the guideline, put at the middle point. Yeah, using the curve line to touching this into two phrases. First phrase, one curve line. Yeah, a quarter of the curve line actually. And then still seeing about this how's your mouse moving. Once your mouse leave this endpoint, yeah, immediately leave this endpoint, you can just click and then continue, leaving another. After that, click, click. I got a session, and then I just need to know how is the width of the room. For example, this time, read out this 3342. Okay, turn it to the extrusion 3342 and select rooms. not this one. Sorry, this is here. This is really thin, but this one, 3342. Yeah, can you see? Now it's fully covered. At this moment, if you want to save energy, you don't need to still click here to turn to elevation. No, you don't need. You turn to the you turn to the material component, and then you can just directly do the paving as well. See, for example, sometimes we put the wood, and even you can connect faces. Click, click. Yeah, fully covered, right? Of course, at this moment, if you use the downlight, it's not available to directly recognize out the thickness because downlight normally it belongs to the ceiling logic. Yeah, for this time, if you want, you'd better use the public library lightings. Here, spotlight, downlight, manually to put that. Yeah, for example, some of the models, yeah, you'd better with very distinct thickness. Click, put, or here, check about the position until we can see the model. Yeah, see. This is this is the boundary it shows for the IES. So just ignore that. It only can be seen in the render outside, but you just need to pay attention about when this kind of lights can be seen. So if you want here, I have one of the very helpful way to manually do the precise adjustment. Of course, you can remember the extrusion coming from the ceiling. For example, how is the depth setting on the section surface when you go drawing. And also you can manually to move your mouse wheel. Here you can see as I turning my mouse wheel up or down, I am now just using this kind of a modification for each millimeter. See, once I can fully see this, okay, fully see this model, then I believe this is the proper position. Of course, you can lock it. For example, lock this height and then turn it into, for example, array linear, click and put. For example, I just need 3 and click confirm. See, it's finished. So this will be the way to do some of the decors. The similar logic shows here. But for the light strip, normally we suggest we directly turn to the, for example, the customize lights or the real-time rendering. You can directly put the rectangle lights, okay, according. So actually, for the pure, the entire logic, the soul to advance the finished topic always lies here finally. For example, if the construction entirely belongs to a same surface, if yes, floor, ceiling, wall. That's the basic you learn, right? And the second, if it is not, can we borrow? For example, the entire face, the faces can connect and it's a vertical relationship. For example, this one, this is on the vertical, right? According to the wall sessions, when you can do it, you can draw. Sometimes even you don't need to fully cover it. For example, you just need to have around the extrusion setting to 3 meters, something like that. It just cut it into half. And then here you can also join with some other constructions or the drawings as well. So these faces connected. And vertical relationship. If it is in vertical, so borrow from each, right? And also, if it is disconnect or non-vertical, only material component drawing or even custom modeling can help. For example, something like this, right? This will be the only solution for the from the custom modeling. Okay, so this also, see, so far is okay. Yeah. Hope that you can have some of the logic refined in your mind. Yeah, but of course you don't need to remember all these finishings. Yeah, this will be really high and advanced skills for the helping. So don't need to worry about that. Uh, but I can also give you some of the logic for the custom modeling. For example, some ceiling like this, right? I can show you. Uh, of course, this will be kind of a really uh, abstract modification for the custom modeling. I can show you the logic. So turn it up here in 2D in that top view. Seeing here, rectangle. Okay, first, of course, draw them back. You have this entire section surface, and then you can also draw the circle. Of course, you can change here. This is something quite similar to the material component drawing. Radius, 1.2 meter. Edges, the different facing cutting, maximize 60 to cut around. Okay, and then push and pull. Pull downward 300 or 350. Okay, and here you can also use this 3D bevel to click here 150 the number of the criminal edge. You just need to because you have the smooth transition, so just no worry. And now you can have this. See, this is called bevel. Yeah, now you don't need to use on. You can not only use 2D but also in 3D. It's automatically chamfered and then click finish. But before that, of course, don't forget we can put material luminous. Yeah, put in the light, finish. So you can try yours. Yeah, you see, with the lights and also with the decors. Okay, so I believe so far it's something good enough for you. If you have anything you want to see or you want to have in our decor, that's really for the advanced using. Yeah, today we mainly talking about general logic. So if you can handle with those previous things, I think it's fine. For the very um, complicated design, we still can do this. Yeah, but with some more steps to analyze. Okay, so something like pen roof, they are also yeah called some with the advanced using. So you don't need to handle all this. Just knowing that we can do it, it's fine. Next time I can show you with very special, for example, the special topic for the lessons, and then we can do some of the decors. Okay, so opening settings is just something for the public. And also you see the ceiling actually seeing like this is also the thing that we can do this as well. So this would be the part for the finishings. Okay, and the second For the topic, today we will still focus on some of the customizing. For example, this time, rooms. Let's turn to the kitchen. Wait a minute. Display all to break this entire room area to break as well. But just pay attention. Some of the areas of the models can be changed, may be changed by the system. So just try to give them back in the proper positions. Okay. So the rooms, kitchen, all right. And here, if you want to do the customizing for the kitchen and bath, for the basic part today, I won't show you because it's easy. You just need to do some linear or the chamfer or the corner cut. Here, I would like to show you with the island drawing or even for some of the bar table drawing. Here's the thing. First, if you want to have, uh, for example, the island unit actually can be combined by, for example, the drawers or the common unit. You can directly click, right? Putting one, let's say here we got one of the unit, and then the second back to back. But here you see, actually it's hard to control. At this moment, change here, change the model from snap to bump, and then duplicate. Now you can see we can get it fully controlled. Right? And also don't forget, actually, still we need the auxiliary for the end panel, base end panel, left or right. Click and to put. Of course, now you can turn it back to lateral to check if it is in the proper position. For example, at this moment, the left side, this time you can make it with the fully uh, correct position at this moment here as well. But if you want to do the adjustment C scale, at this moment, this one, turn it to the scale to full cover that. See, the default setting will might not be available for the really tiny gap. So if you want, you can turn to changing the depth. For example, now this time I want to extend, but here you can check when you put your mouse onto the text box. Now extend it to this direction, which is not what I want. Well, I want it back. So change to lock another direction. Now adding up. For example, plus 20. Now it's fully covered. See, that side the same. For example, doing here, click. So still changing, but not enough. The depth plus 20 cover. If you really cannot analyze which direction, you just need to try. For example, plus, minus, and then have the proper result. Okay. After that, countertop. So auto selected now. It's selected. And the front edge, still you can select for your preference. No backsplash because this is island. Stone. Click generate. And due to your modification, it will be certain area, see, with the corner cut. So this time, just don't directly click that finish. Click this one, seeing the gap, click to drag. Okay, click to drag to see if it is available to merge. After that, dot as well first try to merge, it will always lie within one of the dimension it's available. Always. Yeah. Maybe it's on the left side, maybe on the right side. You just need to try. And after finish all this one, click the boundary, give more. For example, here turn to let's say add up 20. So which means it will be 856. Here as well, continue. Then you can turn to 876. Here the same, click. Okay. Or I just, if for example, I just wanted more, 100, let's say 1160 or 70, add up 30, make it bigger. And then click again, click the line, 100, 1200. Now it's properly fixed. And that's not the end. Once you can click the dot here, we gotta fit it. See? Click that fit it. Now you can control, for example, 50. Yeah. Don't get too big here. This is just the radius for the corner cut. Okay, and also for the other dot, the same. Fit it. 50. Fit it. 50. Okay, and now generate. And then you can have a proper countertop for the island. Yeah. And also if you want to check about the same logic, if you want to check about the toki, same toki modding, auto generated, material, luminous, generate. You can directly have that result. If you want more with more precise adjustment, manually edit. Yeah. So you can see, you can check about that result. Still turn to 2D. See mine again. And drag, generate. Yeah, of course, for the size or for the area, you can continually to change to manually draw, for example, to drag and then to form out a bigger shape or some other areas, to extend to some other areas, and then form out the bar area, okay, the bar table. And also, if you finish something, for example, next time you want to use it again, holding down your shift button to select all the content. Okay. Select them all to group and add to favorite. And next time in the personal catalog, if you want to reuse, click and put. Click and put. Yeah, which means you don't need to draw every time for one of the uh, deckers. So you can try this. See some of the cuttings as well. Okay. So far I think it's good enough for you to use for this kind of customizing. Actually, for customizing, this will be easier for the design. Yeah. And also, if you want, I can also show you some of the deckers. This one. Some of the deckers, for example, to form out with a closet. In closet, I just need to show you one thing. You see, uh, we have this kind of a function, for example, to do the deckers. Let me show you with the cabinet. Here, this is normal models, right? If you want, you can just turn this one to 0 and to form out some charming decors. For example, one of the unit. And if you want to duplicate, you don't need to use the copy because you can click and we have the rectangle array. Just select the surface and then wherever you move your mouse, it will turn to the quick result to get the proper shape. Yeah. And also for some of the decors, show you. At this moment, we have this kind of internal zone design. So you can click that internal zone to customize. For example, customize this area. And when you put for whatever it goes, for example, with the doors, maybe door panel you want, you can click and to put. It will to auto match the boundary. And you can also check about the position. For example, is it full onset or to build in? So you can check here, cover the door as the whole. So you can do some of the modification. And also here, you can manually, for example, you can manually to uh, point out, for example, the area. This time, this is full cover. The default setting, for example, the panels surrounded is just fixed, right? But if you custom the inner area, you see now I can actually manually to adjust. For example, the depth, the height, you see, 300. Yeah, manually to change. And also I can rotate that boundary, rotate the dimension, sorry. So the default setting here is the front, you see. This is to changing the front surface. If you want, change the panel. Easy way to show you, for example, using the vertical. Showing here, see, it's manually to adjust and cut it. But if you change, for example, to change the with a different dimension, seeing here, custom, okay. And now if I change to some other dimension, see, for example, change to this side. When you put any center vertical plate, it's now changing to other dimensions, for example, like this. Yeah, hoping that you can note the difference. And also here you can also change with the detail, for example, the depth, the height, just manually. So this will be especially helpful when you do some of the decors with the open unit. For example, check here, open cabinet for some chamfer or special shapes, the corner cut. Yeah, and also you can use the DIY panels to manually do the modification. But that's another logic or another part. So we can also do that. We can also do some of the changings and forming out. Yeah, this is some corner cut you can change, especially for the here using the here click. See, manually select, changing the dimension, panels, vertical. See, there will be some ways of using. Okay, so this is for the customizing. Hope that you can learn something from this kind of yeah, open areas. Mm, And here for the free of the building, you can click new empty. So you can select out an outer frame, and then you can select this area for this one, drawing some of the, for example, left side vertical, front. Okay, this is the selection of the viewing, the perspective viewing, and the select component. For example, you can click to have the boundary closing. For example, draw like this one, draw like this one. Okay, cabinet skirting, draw like this. Select. You can always have this kind of a result to select the component to build up. So this is something what we call the free drawing for some of the cabinet. Yeah, the default setting, if you don't use the cabinet panel, that means the end side, see, and also manually to draw. If you draw one of the rectangle, it now goes with the different boundaries, see? Yeah, it's kind of an easy game. Would it be helpful? I'm not sure for a side, but you can try. Yeah, you can try that. And finally, if you want to get a full cover for inner door panel, and finish. Okay, and then of course don't forget to check to change middle. This one middle. Double click. Sorry, the dimension parameter left right side. Yes. So can you see that? This is some free drawing, the latest function. Hope you can try if you have that. This is free drawing to build up the unit, but it's only available now, or it's only available for our public catalog. Okay, so so far for here, I think it's fine. It's fine for the customizing. And of course, for the further using, you'd better check about all the detail about some of the model frequently we use, and then to check about those elements, especially on the advanced tool. So this will be helpful for you. Okay, so finally, turn to our actually it's a kind of a old topic. Okay, this time I would like to share some of the useful logic for the customize light. Yeah. In customize lights, the key thing here I would like you to know is about our render the lights. For example, the the order to control the light. For example, you can use environment, accent, part light to control. Yeah, to separate them to use. For example, first to control the environment light, including sunlight, main light, and accent, and the sunlight and main light, and then for the accent light, downlight, spotlight. Yeah, main, of course, for the chandelier, sometimes for the group of the downlight, the accent light, and then part light. Yeah, these three, and also controlling mainly on two things of the units, brightness and the color temperature. These two. Okay, so I just give you one demo. For example, my project here, I will use one of the well finished design case, but without the rendering. This one. Okay. It's easy to understand. Don't worry. We just need to simulate the everything, the lights and the effect itself. Yeah, in random. Just directly give you the case. After this case, you can also determine yours by following some principles. For example, render. So here, custom light or the real time. My preference using the real time for basic renders. Yeah, just pay attention the video and the video template. We now currently not support the real time. It's only custom light time available. Okay, for these two we can support. So add one in .time. Make 2D. Yeah, as you see, actually for the effect, for the system preset effect, it's not so good. Just talked directly. Actually every time you see the result, yeah, it's pure. It's really without the good render quality. Although it's some, of course, with the better result of the simulation of the sunlight, but inside that's really pure flat, right? No any changes. So at this moment, my suggestion, clear them all. What you need to do is only to invite sunlight to come in, and then click. This is for the sunlight color temperature. Normally for the outside, 4500 Kelvin. And then you can check about check about the position. See, the first level is to control the sunlight. Now you can have that proper shape. Yeah. If you want, you can also, for example, to get it soft. 2.0, it will be softer. Okay. And don't change the angle. Around 20 is enough. Yeah, sometimes some of you already prefer like doing like this, and the sunlight will be hidden away. Okay, so just pay attention about it. It's around 20 and it's suitable. And then the second thing, we need to have the outside ambient light, the environment light. So how can we do that? Use the ambient light. It's easy. Put the ambient light. This is for the simulation of the light bulb, but still we need to make it stronger. Okay, putting one of it just next to the sun. This time color temperature 8,000 to 10,000 Kelvin. Yeah, make it kind of a feeling of the outside blue sky and white clouds. So you can change that. Brightness, of course, stronger, 800. Radius, here, 800. Height, maximize. And what you will have, you see, now it will turn to a brighter area. And also put to those areas that already contain with the certain, for example, the certain glass doors and windows. So just pay attention about the distance. Normally, calculation from outside to inner area, this area, you need to remain around 4 meters. Okay, 4 meter. Don't just get it clear, too close. You see, if it is too close, it's overexposure. So just put at it around that, and then of course. So let me check. Maybe 8,000 will be better. Yes, because 10,000 Kelvin will be too cold. And also, if you want, copy. Yeah, copy the property and then duplicate to other same catalog, same basic lights. And after that, the environment light still need one more step, is to control the ambient brightness. The default setting maybe for your side in your viewing will be last around 2, the index. The ambient brightness is controlling the dark shadows, yeah, to enhance. the dark area. So normally I use around 10 to 12. Yeah, it will be better viewing now, right? Yeah, maximize, try not to use too high, for example, 15 and over. That's too bright. We're causing the overexposure. And for the dark side, we will use the manually to light it up. This is the step one for the environment. Actually, in your environment, we got sunlight and the main light, environment main light here, and also check about the ambient brightness. And that's enough. Yeah. Maybe, of course, you see some of the outside viewing is easy to bright. You can control with that to make it lower, the outdoor brightness. But it's only control about the outside environment, the patterns, okay, the paving. So just make it suitable accordingly. Because some of the area, sometimes you have like the dawn at the dawn, the material, the environment at the dawn, or in the midnight, or even sometimes, for example, in the morning, or you have the area like the snowy days. Yeah, it will change accordingly. This okay, the outdoor brightness, it can be changed accordingly. And then here this is first level, and the second, what you need to have is the accent light. For the accent light, see here, I got this the downlight as the main light. So what I need to do is use the downlight. Yeah, downlight one, downlight two, to put. Of course, if you have chandelier, the system will directly give you the rectangle lights. You can just remain it, just change. Don't forget to change about the color temperature. We need to control the color temperature to make it the warm feelings or the relative effect. For example, this one 4,500, and the brightness no need a big. Get it within 200 and check about the status. Yeah, just avoid some clipping like this. Okay, put it down. Check there's no conflict. And now we can have a proper light. Of course, here I got some more, so duplicate and duplicate. Yeah, one, two, three, and here it will be like that. Okay, and also for the other area, one, two, three, four, and the entrance, one, two. You can also use these elements. Just pay attention about the height. Yeah, for example, here, this one is not only one of it, but also you see, actually we do have another for the decor. This is not the downlights for the spotlight. So first finish these two, and the second here, if you have one, you can use, for example, spotlight. Let's use the spotlight 2 here to do the modification with a certain angle. Now, see that it's lighting up. 5,000. Brightness, not that much. 200. Good. See? And actually, for this light, mm, you see, about the brightness, you can just directly take here. This is the logic. You can see this is the brightness logic. 1 watt equals to 10 lumens per square meter equals to 10 lux. That's around approximately 10% in our system. But of course, behind this, it will have a quite complicated calculation formula. You don't need to remember that. You just need to remember about this one. And also, that's something related to our real world power. And also, that percentage, okay, this power is not talking about nowadays energy saving product, not the energy saving the aluminum products. It's only for for example, the Asian product, the old light bulb. So maybe you need to raise the power. That's why here actually 200, it means actually about 20 watt. But for 20 watt of the effect, it will shows like this. Okay, and also don't forget here, we can also give another to that position and check about if it's lighting up. Okay, if you see it's too close and too strong, also check about if it is proper. See, because it's too close, so it will be really strong for the light. So lower it. No need to get too close. Okay, just the simulation. 80, I think it's enough. So there will be some of the ways to do that modification. Okay, the main line. And of course here, for this kind of lights, you can, this is the chandelier for the dining table. You see here? Yeah. The default setting is not so bright enough, so you can directly click. Click the lights here, we got the glow, color, turn to 5. Now it's lighting up, but it's only for the glow itself. The effect still not showing so obvious. So what you need to do is turn it to 2D using the rectangular to give the proper effect. Now drag down just right under the, the glow, under it. Okay, and also check about here. Normally here it's better to turn to 3000 or 3500 because this is for the dining area. The warm feeling will strongly to improve, yeah, your appetite when having the dinner. So enhance that. Brightness, you can also check accordingly. Normally, default setting is fine because it's not a big one. It's only a small chandelier, so you can do it. Or if you have some of the, this is also the main line, right? If you have some of the product like this, the luminous product like this, see, this you can't directly use the rectangle. You'd better use for the downlights. For example, here, still downlight, put it here. Yeah. Still, first, position. Second, light them up with the brightness. Proper brightness, 200. It's good enough. Yeah. Actually, sometimes I feel like it's stronger, around 180. It's fine. You don't need to have that much. And then after you finish all this, just duplicate. Yeah, because you already check for the first one, and then the lateral you just need to use. See, this is the warm feeling, warm light. Okay, this as the chandelier, you just need to have the rectangle. Two different ways to use. Okay, these are for the main light here, the accent light, down light, spotlight. Okay, sometimes rectangle light. Okay, and after finish the third scenario is the part light. The part light will include a downlight, spotlight, ambient light, and light strip even. So what you need to do, first I show you the light strip. Here, seeing that actually for the curtain box here is really dark, right? If you want, using the rectangle, click to drag, and here we got the length, 50, enough for 50, and then 4000 Kelvin, brightness, to be brave, 1200. Okay, finally changing the height above the floor. Okay, this will be too big. Yeah, I think it's too big for the area to limit. Yeah, it's fine. So check about the status. See, so you can actually see from here to switch to the big screen directly. And you can even control to compare. For example, switch off. Which is better? Up to your choice. Of course, my suggestion using that is much better. Okay. And the same scenario shows here. For example, for the TV background wall, duplicate, changing, drag, and don't forget dimension to go up and move down. How's that viewing? Right? Of course, you can change accordingly. 1000 maybe too big, then 800. Yeah, no, it's up to your choice. I suggest 800 is enough. This is because this is kind of an open area. You don't have to put it that much, but just pay attention. If the position is incorrect, for example here, it's collide with the model, then it will be hidden away. Just pay attention about it. Okay, set to the proper position. It's important. Okay, and also here you see this is kind of a standing lamp. Okay, the floor lamp. So you can also turn to 2D and where's the light? Here, ambient light. Let me check in top surface. Still not showing. Maybe some area missing, but it's fine. To first, to put in the correct position inside the lamp. Okay. And also check about the status 3000. That's only for reading or some very related to the ambient buildings. For example, here 200, and check if it can be lighted up. Yeah, 40 if too small, double it. Now you see here it does contain the lights. The area is lighting up, especially if you turn everything off, for example, the outside ambient, or select the format as the midnight during the evening. It will be more obvious for this area. You can switch on, switch off to see. Yeah, my suggestion, of course, which that is better. Okay, and finally, you will have kind of light as the main actor light. So where's the actor light? You see, for example, here, this area is really dark, and also for the chairs, right? So if you want to simulate the light, first check if you have the proper prepared ceiling. For example, I actually have the track lights here. I already have the resource. So if you turn anything to add up in the entire ambience, it won't feel like, okay, it's really uh, unnatural because you can't find the resource. Now, if you turn to, for example, to select the downlight, okay, for example, select here, the downlight, and also for the entire ambience, for the living room, for example, 5000 Kelvin, okay, and put it down, brightness 200 or even lower, maybe 150. Okay, the key thing is the height. See, the height, first you need to put the circle just touching the surface of your target. let's say here I have the target for the sofa, and then when you do the touching, for example, here is overexposure, but it's really bright here. So add up here, you see, we got a height, add up 300, around 300 millimeter. Now it's 1050, right? So I can add up to around the 1350 above the floor. So now you can see it's soft here. The feeling is soft, but still you lighting up this area. This is the key viewing or the key tracking area for the eyesight of the clients. The same scenario happened when you turn to this. Okay, just put at the side of the corner. Don't put at the very front. First, touching. See, first touching the surface of the chair, and then add up more. 1/6. And now you can check about this position. See, this area can be lighted up, and it won't be too dark for the viewing. Of course, here I just forgot to check and add up some more. For example, downlight, this position. Yeah, I got this downlight. Duplicate, duplicate, and see. That's why actually from the very beginning, I won't directly use the ambient brightness to make it higher. The environment ambient brightness, I don't need to make it higher because I have those elements, right? And it's done. Actually, it's already finished here. The scenario shows also for the certain area, for example, on the desk or at the front of the sofa, you can also add up the lights. So just you can compare with the scenario. Okay, and also if you want to have the proper result for like the picture rendering, here I give you one of the suggestion. It's not in environment, it's in camera. You see, we have the camera here to go with depth of the field. Activate this one and select the target. How's that viewing? See, for a big view, you don't have to use really big fullness. It's around 20, it's fine. Yeah, don't get too dazzling or the fulls here. Yeah, and also change if you start click another. See, now the back, yeah, the back change. Also for the target, see, wherever you go, still the target is clear. The target area is clear. So that will be somehow we do for the render. Finally, get the render here, image here to select. In 360 walkthrough, you don't have this, okay? You just need to click in image and then click render. And fine. So using the depth of the field, you can create a really vivid looking of the render outcome, especially good for some uh, detailed design or the decors. For example, if you can stay a smaller area, see, of the FOV, changing the FOV, stay focused. Okay, so I think that's good enough for some of the render outcome. Something related, you see, this is normal rendering, and then you can compare with some stay focus view, or we just wait for a bit of time. This is because this is some previous render, but without the color temperature controlling. So this is some previous working, and then after that you can have a proper viewing Yeah, with the color temperature control. And also we rebuild the lights. Okay, so for some more certain detail changes, there will be some our professional topic for advanced using. You just need to have the basic principles. And even at that moment, we have different ways to control the light. And also, if you want the advanced atmosphere to change with the spotlight, formula plus manual. This is manual editing for the lights, the IES. You can also use that. And blank, that's for challenge. And dual omnium light, or this kind of effect is really charming. See, we only have those elements of the light, just normal light, but still we can bring out this entire smooth feeling of the light. Yeah. The further we'll have the further topic we have next time, maybe for the advanced using. But today we have the general. Yeah, you have all this, you know how to do it. Finally, some principles for you. That's the summary. First, do we need a ceiling? Of course we need. This is the stage for the light. Okay, looking real, remember to control color temperature. Brightness, I know you have the very distinct feeling. Is it lack of the strength or is overexposure? So brightness, I think I don't need to worry too much. I just need to worry some of you have the wrong color temperature control or just ignore that. When you ignore that, everything's a 6,500 Kelvin and then everything blank in the pure white, which actually is not so good. Okay, for the ambience. And the brightness, Dermy modification. Next time we can learn some of the principal calculations and then you can have the proper result. And color temperature, warm indoor, cold outdoor, or warm, the feeling similar, warm at night, in the evening, cold during the daytime. You can also control with that, with the principle or with the rules. Okay, the rules. And also we have these three part: environment sunlight, air sunlight, part light. Well, you every um, piece of the area you can separate them into these three. Okay, three levels to check if you have enough light or you have anything. Maybe sometimes forgot, and then you can check about those lights if you finish that building, and then I think that at least the viewing it will not be less good. Yeah. So you can have the result checking. Sunlight on actually is the basic for the real looking, either inside or outside. And the brightness attenuate simulation. Just change accordingly. Finally, the noise and density, actually our system already have that. For example, after you finish the customizing, you can have the effect here activated. Dazzling with the default setting is okay. If you don't want that big, you can just turn to uh, one is enough. Yeah. So that will be some of the settings. And after that, advanced using some color corrections. That's some topic for the lateral using and the specific industry using. Yeah, you can just ignore that for basic using and then finally render. And finally, we can have the proper result. Okay. So I think so far it's good enough for you to learn for the skills. Yeah. For the further learnings and the courses we might have in the future, and I hope you can also continue to join to the courses. But just pay attention. Before that, you need to at least try some of the practicing our rules, practicing some of the skills, and then have the proper results. Okay. So I think that's all for today, and thanks for the attendings. We'll see you next round. Okay, thank you and bye bye.